Hey girl, welcome back to the Her Best Self podcast. On the show today, I'm talking about how you can nourish your body when maybe you have portion anxiety or a fear around weight gain, and so you simply don't know what portions to have. Am I eating too much? Am I eating too little? Maybe these are some questions that you've been asking yourself regularly as you become more aware of the disorder in your mind. All right, friend, let's dive in. Here we go, sis. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in the destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. I hope that your week is starting off strong, sis, just as you keep getting stronger in the truth and more grounded in the reality that we're no longer hanging out with this wannabe friend, the eating disorder, as we jump into the new year. Like, it is done, so. I want to give you some real love today and just answer a question that I've been getting regularly, not only from listeners just like yourself, but I regularly get asked this in personalized private coaching. And that is, am I eating too much or am I having too little? How do I really know? And what if I can't stop eating? Because there is this fear of restricting to full on can't stop binging. And that fear is alive and that fear is real, but it's just a fear. So today I'm going to hopefully help answer this question for you if you're struggling in this place. But I also want to start today's show by just saying thank you so much for listening. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are a veteran, thank you time and time again for listening to the podcast. It is because of your listen that we continuously grow. And we are not far from 100,000 episodes, and I cannot wait to hit that major milestone. But more importantly, I just wanted to share my gratitude because so many of you I have helped personally over the years. And I don't know if you know this, but I've shared it a couple of times and I share it with all of my clients. But every single time I pray over women that I haven't yet gotten to meet, that I can help along their journey. And then you come into my space, I have this board that I put your name on. And that's for all clients, whether you're a current client, whether you're a past client, whether you're one of my coaching clients to become a coach to help other clients. Like, it doesn't matter. Your name goes on the board. And typically when I'm recording the show, I look at that board. I have it right next to me because it is a constant reminder of the lives that have been changed, not only by this podcast, but by the grit and the grace of God, but also the fact that you have stepped forward, raised your hand and said, I don't want to live like this anymore. And you've sought out help. And whether that's me as a coach or another coach that you are also listening to, I want you to know I'm proud of you. It takes a courageous person to step out in faith, scared to death, and realize they don't want this for their life anymore. And so I see you. I continue to look up at that board and just relish in the names that are there. I mean, it is wild. I love it because it is a constant grounding reminder of the work that happens when you raise your hand and you step into truth. And that is that freedom is possible for you. And this fear of what if I can't stop eating? Well, I want to pull up a seat at your table, friend, and love on you because I lived in this exact terrifying reality. I think honestly, that's what makes me a great coach. And I realize I'm not for everyone, but I also think that trying to go at this alone can be paralyzing. And I remember, like it was yesterday, being in this place of, I know that I should be eating more, and yet how do I know if it really is too little? Or how do I know if it is enough? And I want to get better, I want to be healthier, but I don't even know what that looks like. Here's the truth. Nothing changes, sis, if nothing changes. Everything that you are doing in your life right now is a result of actions and beliefs that you have put on up to this point. In order to see a change, you're going to have to change. and you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do an action. And in my own personal recovery, I remember being in this spot and not really knowing, I knew I couldn't trust myself, but not really knowing who to trust. And so I want to invite you today, if you're looking for support, please don't do this another year by yourself. Please don't. Reach out to me. You can find myself or my team. We would love to get in contact with you and to meet you. I will say only if you are looking to jump in and get a coach, okay? Because I want to make sure they're beneficial for both you and myself and of course my team. But if you're not serious about wanting a healthier version in 2025 for yourself, then please don't go online and fill out a client application. But if you are done and you are like, I know nothing's going to change because I've been trying to do this by myself for so long and I still end up in this cycle, just don't do it anymore. That's why you have helping hands of people like myself and other coaches that have gone before you. Invest in someone because your life is worth it. Okay, there is no monetary value on freedom. So that's just my little pitch today. But really, sis, it's less about building my business up and generating more revenue. Of course, like that continues to happen. And God is so good in my life and over my business. But what I want for you is to get supported by somebody who is going to help you change your life, who is going to help you face the fear, who is going to help you understand that this question alone is a tactic to keep you confused. If you're asking, am I eating too much? Am I eating too little? Should I have a little bit more? Should I not? I don't know what to eat next or when I can eat it. All of those questions are coming from a place of confusion. Confusion is from the enemy, okay? Because if we can stay confused, we can stay in the trap. We can stay in the pit, not knowing any better. Are you good with staying there? Are you good living another 365 days like you've lived this past year? Or do you want more for your life? Because that's where I had to go. Like I wanted more. There had to be more than this. It had to be better than this. And I wanted more for my family, for my future family. Like I wanted more. You deserve more. You're allowed more. So why are you trying to weigh less and then wonder why you don't feel like you deserve more? One strategy that helped me to level set with portions and really getting past the anxiety was coming to the come to Jesus moment. There's no way I'm remotely eating enough food. And I had to get super truthful with myself. The real. I want you to get super truthful with yourself. Meaning, if you are constantly mean to everyone that you love and you don't even know why, but you're just always on edge, you have low energy, your temperature is constantly changing, you're always cold, you have no appetite, and then sometimes you'll have a random, really odd craving, or you tend to eat very similar things day after day after day and limited things. It's simple. It's assessing and evaluating that in itself is something to work through. It's okay. It doesn't matter how you got to this point. I mean, obviously, we got to get to the root of things and it's important to work with a clinician, but it's what we're going to do about it next that's important. So I try to not overanalyze, which I know in our minds, right? If you are a perfectionist or you have the planning type personality like many of us have, it's very simple. Instead of throwing away safe foods, instead of diving all in and eating everything in sight, that's what our brain is telling us is going to happen in recovery. It's almost like if I have an eating disorder, I'm this size. And if I'm recovered, then I just have to be okay with being fat. That statement is not to be triggering. That statement is to just show you the truth of what our brain does. Sis, that is a lie, a bold-faced lie. I began adding small, over time to safe things as a way of honoring. And so that's what I want to encourage you to do today. If you are having this fear around how do I nourish my body when I don't even know what that looks like, and you have portion anxiety, I call it just a dollop, okay? Now I know this is funny, or maybe you won't even laugh at this, but I don't know if you've seen the commercial here in the States, but it's sour cream and it's called Daisy sour cream. Well, When I was super sick, I would never eat full fat sour cream. I mean, fat-free, sugar-free, everything. I'm sure you're familiar, right? Again, not to be triggering, just to meet you where you're at, because that was it for me. And I call it just a dollop because that was a way that I recovered. It was a dollop. And Daisy's marketing, the company, the sour cream company, they say just a dollop of Daisy will do ya, meaning add a dollop of sour cream to your meals and you will love it. And so this phrase of a dollop really helped me navigate increasing portion sizes. It's just a dollop. It's just a little bit more. It's just getting a little bit stronger day after day after day. And so I would add a dollop of all that I was currently eating, just a dollop more. This is also known as the plate method. It's when you start with familiar portions and you gradually and consistently experiment minorly with increase. This is just an experiment, but it is important because your mind right now is searching for control and it needs structure. And in order to build trust with yourself and your body, you're going to have to nourish it. You're going to have to allow it a little bit more, a dollop. And so when we think about this concept, it's not to get you thinking only a dollop. Okay, so I don't want you to take it to the extreme, but I want you to give yourself permission to increase portions gradually. Sometimes this is going to be mechanical at first. Maybe you're not setting current meal times. I want you to grant yourself permission to have meal times. Maybe you're really rigid with your meal times right now. I want you to grant yourself permission to allow yourself something in between those structured times. And if you find yourself thinking about food before or after you've already eaten, you can use the dollop as a way to experiment, okay? You can use meal plans also as training wheels. And I have a couple episodes where I talk about meal plans and how I find them beneficial and other cons of my personal experience with a meal plan. But I want you to plan ahead. I want you to plan ahead because if you don't have a plan, you're going to fail. So we're going to start courageously. We're going to build consistently. Then you're going to plan consciously and progress compassionately. After we get through some of that mechanical eating, and it might feel like you're just eating without really wanting it or being hungry. Sis, your body has not allowed to be hungry. It's going to suppress those hunger cues. And after a while, it's not going to know what those are anymore. You are allowed to honor and nourish regardless. Conscious eating is where you start with one conscious meal a day or a conscious snack or whatever it is. And you can begin being mindful of your surroundings. What does it taste like? What does the texture feel like? How are you feeling? What are those thoughts going on in your mind? This creates self-awareness and food awareness for you, and that builds trust. But you can't know what is preferred. You can't know how much is enough if you haven't allowed yourself permission, if you haven't given yourself body and food trust. Just a dollop. Add an extra spoonful. Include a new condiment. Include a new component. How can this be balanced? That is the question to ask yourself. Maybe I'm new to carbs. Okay, pick one this week. When I questioned myself with the thoughts in my mind telling me that I didn't need more, I played on repeat and remembered, this voice is not my friend. Sis, your eating disorder voice inside your mind is not your friend. So why is she getting a VIP seat at the table? That voice is a bully pretending to keep you safe while stealing your life and taking away your happiness. Every extra bite, every dollop is extra courage. Every extra bite, every dollop is extra credit. And that worked for me. Like, I want all the points. I want extra credit. I want to be the best, hence the show of the podcast. But in order to become the very best version of yourself and to live life unrestricted, you have to, in this moment, choose nourishment over restriction, regardless of the thought, regardless of how you feel. Here are some addition ideas that you can leverage this week. Of course, just pick one or think of something that resonates for you personally. But building on this, again, we are starting courageously. We are building consistently. So you're going to build consistently over time with one or maybe a couple of these ideas, okay? So things I did personally: add a spoonful of nut butter to my oatmeal. I included more berries to my yogurt. I would sprinkle seeds on top of my salad. I would add a drizzle of honey to my morning meal or to my coffee. I would add a splash of milk as well. I'd have a dollop of hummus with my veggies or include a slice of cheese and my eggs. Sis, add pita or crackers when you're eating something else. Maybe as a side for your lunch. Maybe as a side to some soup. Drizzle olive oil before you cook anything. Like, make that a non-negotiable. Just a dollop, just a little. We're increasing, we're building momentum, we're building consistency. Include an extra few bites of protein with dinner. Add a few slices of avocado to your salad. Just a dollop. Maybe a dollop of sour cream to your chili when it's cold outside these days. But get really present in this exercise. Think about what that could look like for you. And if you're asking the question, am I eating too much? The answer is most likely no. The answer is that you are asking for permission. Your body just wants permission. It wants to keep you alive and it wants you to thrive. And in order to build trust, we have to allow it to be. So how can I nourish my body today? That's the question I want you to ask. What is one thing that I can do? Just a little bit to build that consistency. Well, sis, you got to plan. You got to plan consciously. You have to be present in the experience. And then you have to progress compassionately. This isn't a one and done. There were so many times that I had to talk myself into adding a spoonful of nut butter to my oatmeal. There were so many times I had to talk myself into oatmeal. But with every single action, with every check, with every choice to build upon that, that voice became less and less. Sis, that voice is not your friend. She's not your friend. But I am your friend. And I'm here to tell you today that you have exactly what it takes to combat this. Nothing changes if nothing changes. But you have the ability, you hold the key right now to change your current circumstance. So as you take another breath, another step along your week, what is something that you can do that is going to add just a little bit of oomph, just a dollop? I hope that this episode has helped you. I would love for you to come join us in our private Facebook community. You can find us at herbestselfsociety.com. We are going up in our service prices in the new year. So if you have been on the fence about working with a coach, myself, or someone else on the team, go to the website right now, like right after this episode finishes, and fill out a client application. Now is the time, because we are only going to be taking clients at this rate at our current price until the new year. After the new year, we are going to be increasing our prices. So now is the time, now is better than ever, so you can get started on the best year yet right now by making a choice to commit to yourself and your recovery right now. All right, girl, I hope that this episode has helped you. Save this one so you can replay it back. I will talk to you real soon, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.